Since the earliest days of human civilization, war has been a defining force, a tool of survival, dominance, and legacy. But beyond the bloodshed and destruction, history holds moments of extraordinary military genius, strategies that relied not on brute strength, but on superior thinking and vision. In this video, you'll discover 5 of the most brilliant war strategies from antiquity, each a turning point that changed the fate of empires. These are not just stories of victory, but of insight, leadership, and innovation that still echo in military academies and strategy discussions today. 1. The Trap at Cannae. Hannibal Barca versus Rome during the height of the Second Punic War. Rome faced its most devastating defeat at the hands of Hannibal Barca, a general from Carthage. In the Battle of Cannae, he achieved what no commander had done before, the complete annihilation of a Roman army nearly twice the size of his own. Hannibal faced almost 90,000 Roman soldiers, with roughly 50,000 of his own. The Roman commanders, overconfident in their numbers, launched a full frontal assault in traditional formation. Hannibal, however, laid a trap. He placed his weakest troops in the center and positioned his elite cavalry and seasoned veterans on the flanks. As the Romans advanced, his center gradually retreated, deliberately. The Romans, believing victory was near, pressed forward, only to find themselves enveloped. At the perfect moment, Hannibal's wings closed in on the flanks. Meanwhile, his cavalry had already driven off the Roman horsemen and now attacked from the rear. The result, a perfect encirclement. Over 50,000 Roman soldiers were killed in a single day. Cannae remains a masterpiece of tactical warfare, with Hannibal's double envelopment still taught in military academies as one of the most effective maneuvers in history. 2. The Siege of Tyre. Alexander the Great. As he advanced into Persian territory, Alexander the Great encountered the fortified island city of Tyre, surrounded by high walls and nearly a kilometer offshore. Tyre was considered impenetrable. Direct naval assault was too risky. The Phoenicians were master sailors, so Alexander chose a bold alternative: turn the sea into land. He ordered the construction of a causeway, a massive stone bridge stretching from the mainland to the island. It was an unprecedented feat of engineering. The Tyrians launched continuous attacks to disrupt the effort, using fire ships and missiles. Still, Alexander pressed on. After months of labor and relentless attacks, the causeway was completed. Siege towers and battering rams were rolled up to the walls. In a fierce final assault, Tyre was taken. The Siege of Tyre is remembered as one of the greatest logistical and engineering achievements in ancient warfare, proof that, in war, raw strength often bows to sheer determination and strategic ingenuity. 3. The Parthian Feigned Retreat. Battle of Carrhae. Roman general Marcus Licinius Crassus, one of the richest men in history, led an ill-fated invasion of Parthian territory. With nearly 40,000 Roman troops, he was confident of an easy victory. The Parthians, however, had a plan. Led by General Serena, the Parthians employed the tactic of feigned retreat, a brilliant maneuver that relies on deception and mobility. Their lightly armored horse archers would engage the Roman lines, fire devastating volleys of arrows, then retreat rapidly. The Romans pursued, thinking the enemy was fleeing, but they were drawn into ambushes and circled back upon by archers who could shoot while riding away. The famous Parthian shot. The Romans, bogged down in open terrain without water or cavalry superiority, were slowly picked apart. Thousands died. Crassus himself was killed in disgrace, ending his life and ambitions in the sands of Mesopotamia. The Battle of Carrhae revealed that mobility, psychology, and understanding the terrain can overcome even the mightiest armies. It was a fatal lesson in humility for the Roman Republic. 4. The Trojan Horse. Greek deception in the Trojan War. The tale of the Trojan Horse is perhaps the most iconic example of ancient military deception. According to Homer and other ancient sources, the Greeks besieged the city of Troy for 10 years with no success. The walls were too strong, the defenders too determined. Then came a different idea: cunning instead of strength. The Greek hero Odysseus conceived a plan. Build a giant wooden horse. Hide elite soldiers inside, and pretend to abandon the siege. The rest of the army would sail away, leaving the horse as an apparent offering to the gods. The Trojans, believing the war was over and the horse a gift, brought it inside their gates. At night, as the city slept in celebration, the Greek warriors emerged from the horse, opened the gates, and let the Greek army, which had silently returned, into the city. Troy was destroyed. Whether entirely myth or partially based in truth, the Trojan horse remains the most famous symbol of subterfuge, infiltration, and psychological manipulation in war, so iconic that its name lives on in cybersecurity today. 5. The Fabian Strategy. Rome's War of Patience. After Rome's crushing loss at Cannae, the Republic was desperate for revenge, and he called for another direct battle with Hannibal. But Quintus Fabius Maximus, appointed dictator, had a different idea, one that would forever change the way Rome fought wars. Fabius chose not to engage Hannibal in open battle. Instead, he adopted a policy of deliberate avoidance. His army would shadow Hannibal's movements, disrupt his supply lines, block his access to food and reinforcements, and slowly wear him down. This strategy, though unpopular at the time, proved highly effective. Over time, Hannibal's army weakened. Local allies abandoned him. Rome regained strength and morale. By avoiding confrontation and focusing on sustainability and attrition, Fabius set a precedent for asymmetric warfare. His enemies mocked him with the nickname Conctator, the delayer, but history would remember him as one of the fathers of modern strategic thinking. The Fabian strategy teaches us that sometimes doing nothing can be the most effective move of all, when it's calculated and deliberate. These 5 strategies are more than historical footnotes. They are case studies in genius, foresight, and bold thinking. In each instance, the victor succeeded not by having the larger army or the sharpest swords, but by outsmarting their enemies. They teach us that the art of war is just that, an art. It's shaped by psychology, engineering, patience, deception, and innovation. Whether encircling an army, building a road across the sea, faking defeat, or using a wooden statue as a weapon, these ancient minds reshaped history with bold, often risky decisions. And although we live in a different age, the principles behind these strategies remain alive in boardrooms, politics, digital warfare, and even sports. Victory often belongs not to the strongest, but to the smartest. If you love learning about epic moments in history and brilliant minds behind the battlefield, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a story like this. And now, tell me in the comments, which of these strategies impressed you the most? Let's talk about it.